just then, that cross from Theo Hernandez to Ibrahimovic, that was beautiful. I saw him with the ball. I was wondering what is he gonna do because he obviously has a guy to the left. But no, that cross was beautiful. I guess that's the advantage of having a left-footed or a player who can play with the left foot or with both feet. That was beautiful. As a right footer, I'm thinking, what is he gonna do? But nah, he's like, take that. First goal. I like this Milan. This is a hopeful Milan. Let's continue the game. All right, hello everyone. This is Sanji Fan here, and I'm here to discuss yesterday's match between AC Milan and Bologna. Now, just to get straight into it, it was a fantastic match. I was very proud of the team. Obviously, it was only 2-1 win, but those of us who know how we started last season, not getting a goal from running play from the run of play until like match 4 or match 5. It was great to see Theo Hernandez cross that ball and Ibra just get that header for the first one. That was crucial. I felt like the whole team needed that because at first, it wasn't great because there was a few bad misses at first. It wasn't really gelling, but after that goal, everything looked better. But I did take notes, and I just want to talk about just a couple of things I noticed in yesterday's game. Now, first of all, I want to start with Pioli, the coach. Well, I want to start with him because the performance really reflected the job he's done with this team so far. The thing that I've noticed watching AC Milan these last few years, we haven't really been playing as a team. Our passing and our runs off the ball have not been as good. People have not been, covering for each other in defense. But just yesterday's match, I noticed a few things. Like, we're playing as a team. Like, after the first goal, we played as a team. Calabria was everywhere. He was tackling. He was running up. He was everywhere. He did a great job. I will appreciate that. But one thing I want to say is the position of players. I really appreciate the fact that Pioli actually respects the positions that the players prefer. Just a small tangent. One thing I've hated from AC Milan, not just AC Milan, I've seen other clubs do this, like Arsenal and stuff. Like, they will buy a great player and then play him out of position right away. That's what happened with Keisuke Honda. Keisuke Honda was a center of the park kind of player, but he was forced to go out wide. And that happens constantly. But it's just good to see that Pioli actually takes into account the positions that these players can actually be comfortable with and lets them play that position. And it really shows because you can see during the match yesterday, when someone would get when the ball would come to one side, the team would be constantly adjusting to make up. So whether, like, if someone got beat, someone else would be right there to pick up the slack. The person who got beat would go ahead and make the adjustment towards the next person. It was perfect. Like, people were covering for each other, basically. We were covering for each other. We were positioning ourselves perfectly, and they switched on defense. Now, the center back partnership beginning of the game was Kier and Gabia, and they were okay together. It wasn't too shaky. It was okay. It was all right. Like, I would like to see Gabia stay in front of his man a little bit more, but he's just now trying to break out into the team. So obviously we have to take that into account as well. But Kier was overall solid. I know he was replaced late on for the Brazilian dude. I can't remember. But yeah, overall, great game from Kier and from Gabia. And when I have to remember this dude's name. Anyways, the other thing I noticed, apart from the coaching and the positioning of the players, I noticed that with us winning 2-0, we could have beaten them at least 4. Because I know I've written down 3 clear chances we should have scored. We had the opportunity with Ibra when Salamakers had the back heel to Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu slid the pass through the defender's legs to Ibra while he was on the break. And he passed the keeper. He rounded past the keeper and just had to shoot the ball. And he shot it wide. Everybody was shocked. I was shocked. But obviously, we were already up 2-0, and he already had both the goals, so no one was going to be upset. But it's just something we could have had. We could have had the chance Gabia had when, I guess it was a cross, and then Rebic, instead of kicking it towards goal, he just squared it. across the box, and then unfortunately it fell to Gabia, and his positioning was not right. So he just took an off balance shot, which ended anywhere. But I could see if anybody, if Chanaloglu, Rebic, Leao, Ibrahimovic, any of those people, even Castillo, any of those people, if they would have had that opportunity, it would have been in the back of the net. But again, obviously, I'm not going to be mad because Gabia, he's just starting to find himself for first team action, and he's a defender. So we're not going to expect him to do all the. And it had to be a quick finish too because the ball came at him really fast. So obviously, I don't blame him for that, but that is another miss I noticed. And the other one was the Benacer one. Another one which came very fast to him, but it was when it was 0-0. And I think Ibra ran towards the end line and just crossed it with his left across the face of the goal, and I think the goalkeeper, he tipped the pass. So he tipped the cross, but it fell like right there to Benacer. But unfortunately for him, not only did it come to him really quickly, but that was also another AC Milan player going for the ball. So that made it a little bit more difficult. But that was three basically. But the goal was wide open. So that was basically three clear-cut chances we could have had to make it 5-0 yesterday. Obviously, the other team had some chances as well, and Donnarumma was solid as a rock. I understand why he would want to get a raise. Don't get me wrong, I'm not thrilled that he wants to get a raise because we haven't really done shit. Well, excuse my language. We haven't really done anything for the last few years, but he has been the one solid player, the one player you can't really fault for almost anything. So I can sort of understand why why his agent has been speaking about them getting a new contract and more money. Now, the other players, I have some other players I do want to talk about. I want to talk about Theo Hernandez. I felt like Theo Hernandez had a great match yesterday. He was bombing up and back. I appreciated that, and he actually made the first goal. He assisted the first goal, and I did not see that coming. Because I'm thinking he's gonna either pass it to the left because there was a guy like on the wing, and he was like right on the edge of the box. But no, he just left-footed it straight to Ibra's head. I did not expect that. So I was pleasantly surprised when Ibra headed that in. So that was, again, a beautiful play by Theo. He had a few great plays, to be honest. Yeah, I think he had a shot, but overall he was just very solid. He was very solid. Castillejo. Castillejo is another player that I want to discuss. Now, it seems to be that for this season, he's most likely going to be sharing the responsibilities of the wing with Salamakers, which I'm not mad about because in the first half, Castillejo was effective. He was really good with his touch. He had great touch, and he showed some actual strength when holding the man off the ball, like basically shielding the ball. It was decent. I was like, okay, well, I guess he might have gotten stronger because he was challenging, and he was going in hard on challenges. He was the energy he was showing. He was running back and forth. Obviously, Salamakers did much more running than him, but they're both different type of players, and I will discuss Salamakers a little later. But I do think that Castillo overall had a really good half. I do think that it's amazing that we're keeping him, and if he can just keep staying in the gym, putting in work, I think we will have a great right wing on our hand, at least a decent right wing on our hand. But moving forward to Rebic, I thought Rebic had a few good touches in the match. He had a tendency to kind of disappear during the match, so I don't think he had the greatest game, but I don't remember him messing anything up. I remember him having some very good touches. I'm just trying to get position, and yeah, overall he had a good game. Gabia though, he made some good decisions. Gabia made some good decisions. Like I said earlier, he needs to stay in front of the attacker because I remember specifically, was it with Barrow? I remember Barrow was like coming in from the right-hand side of the field, and unfortunately it was like a one-on-one with Gabia, and Gabia he positioned himself okay, but it wasn't. He was basically showing the goal side. I would have liked for him to show him to touch, like to the touch line instead of protecting the touch line and letting them have the inside, which the attacker took. He just cut in and was able to get a shot off. But fortunately for us, I'm sorry, unfortunately for him, but fortunately for us, um, Donnarumma made a great save. So yeah, Donnarumma again stopping stuff. But moving on to Kessie. Kessie had some great passing that last match. I know in a previous video I've spoken about Kessie's passing, but he had a great match in midfield like yesterday. He was another player who was basically all over the field, but for the most part, I did notice him making most of those passes. He would like make chip passes to switch the field, like spot on, like right on their foot. He was spectacular. He had some good touches, and of course, strong as always. So yeah, he was awesome, and his decision making was much better as well. He just had like one shot that like derailed that went like far wide, but again that was a hard shot because the ball had just came to him and he was under heavy pressure, so he just basically had to try to get his foot in there to shoot it. Just kick and pray, I guess, but it didn't work for him. It went out wide. But besides that, it was a solid game from Kessie. Chalanolu. Chalanolu, again, someone else with an amazing touch. And he made a couple great runs yesterday, too. He made some good runs, and his shielding, like shielding the players from the ball, he looked determined. And I appreciated seeing him on the field. I'm upset that Paqueta did not make it onto the field, but this is, it's Milan. It's a game one win. There can't be too much complaints. But just moving on straight to Calabria. Calabria had some great tackles. His positioning was fantastic. The way he positioned his body to marshal the players away from the goal was exciting. I think he probably gave up like maybe one or two crosses, but one of them I specifically remember was not his fault. I think one of the people who got away from him, he was showing them the touchline, but the guy still used the left and shot the ball near post. Again, Donnarumma snuffed it out. But yeah, overall, Calabria was solid, man. He was good. He was good, especially him and Salamakers. Now, him and Salamakers, it's not a lot of attacking prowess, but it does make you feel a lot better, like defensively, because Salamakers is a player who kind of reminds me of Borini, just a slightly more skilled Borini, although Salamakers himself, I feel like he does need to, he needs to significantly improve his touch and his fundamentals, because too many times that he would make a run and just like you could tell he didn't really want the ball, but he was just making the run because that's the run he's supposed to make. But he doesn't want the ball to actually come to him. And then when it does come to him, his touch is like clunky. It doesn't. It's not great, but again, he's a good player. He came in the second half and just snuffed out a lot of Bologna's attacks. He drops back all day, and also he's the one who worked defensively and backheeled the ball to Shalanolu for Ibra's third chance, the one he missed. So he had a good game. He had a good game, but just some things that I noticed that he definitely has to work on. Just try to get his quality a little bit better. But Ibra was Ibra. The penalty was stupid. Like that's retarded, man. Like that's a penalty when you just upper 90 it like that. It's just straight power. That takes balls, man. And Ibra just. I'm glad he's here. He might be 38 years old and he might be slightly overpaid, but he's what we need right now. Him and Pioli are holding this team together. And the reason I say him and Pioli is because a lot of these players were the same players that struggled early in the season last season. But with the same players, we're performing much, much better from the end of last season to preseason and now here at the beginning of the season. It's been a significant improvement in almost every player. It does seem like Calabria will be the starting right back because after last night's performance, I know it's only been one match. He makes me feel a lot better about having him go out there as right back. As always, I don't mind with Conti as a backup. I don't, it's not ideal, but I don't mind having Conti as a backup. So if we could spend money, the position I would want the money to be spent at is either the center forward, just to get a backup center forward, or a center back for the future, like a solid younger center back, like Upamecano, or so be it. We need a solid, center back because though we did have a good performance defensively, but center back was it was you I feel like we could do with a little bit more prestige. Now, obviously, we do have Romagnoli who will be coming back, so that will be instantly more prestige, which I'm happy about. But we have to admit, Milan center backs get injured a lot, so I wouldn't mind another one, but yeah, I would like yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not asking for too much of this season because Tonali. Oh yeah, Tonali came in. He played well. He had some good touches. Obviously, it was only he only played like 15 minutes, so you can't really judge him much off of just 15 minutes. But he looked good. He had a couple good passages. Um, but overall, I really enjoyed yesterday's game. I can't believe what I'm watching. It's like it feels like again. I know it's only one game, but just seeing how we performed yesterday from how last season started is miles better, like miles and miles better. And I congratulate Pioli on that. And I hope the team continues to perform. And I'll be happy to see it, and I'll be happy to talk about it with you guys. So just let me know what you guys think about AC Milan so far. How far do you think they can go? I personally think, at least top four, at least fourth. But yeah, overall, very happy with yesterday. 2-0 for Milan.